Hey, welcome to the Digital Teacher Leader webinar for October. We'll be going over the ISTE Standards for Coaches Connected Learner. I'd like to remind you of our monthly themes from the ISTE Standards for Coaches. Our Digital Teacher Leader monthly webinars will be happening the first Tuesday of every month at 3:30. The next one coming up will be November 1st. Oops, sorry, got a little happy. November 1st at 3:30, and that will be Larissa, and you'll hear again from Tracy. And then December 6th will be a special topic that we'll let you know about. Don't worry if you can't make it at 3:30 on the first Tuesday. We will record these and we will have them available to you on the Digital Teacher Leader Canvas course. Just a reminder of who the Digital Teaching and Learning team is. Reach out to your specialist if you have any questions. Announcements. I want to remind you to submit your monthly reports for the tech trainings. They are located on the Digital Teacher Leader. I will share that in the chat. If you're not added to the Digital Teacher Leader Canvas course, please contact your digital learning specialist to get added to that. And our next webinar is November 1st, Reaching the Standard of Collaborator. And as a note of record, we made a podcast. You'll be able to find that as well on the Digital Teacher Leader Canvas course. Once again, we'll put the link for that in our chat. Edtech Endorsement is still taking applications. Please make sure that you get your application in today. You could contact Deanna or Kira for more information, and they'll be happy to help you out with the Edtech Endorsement information. Today's sessions are Deanna with Continuous Learning, Developing a Personal Learning Network. You're going to use the link in the chat to go to Deanna. Traci will stay here. You're going to talk 6 degrees of of connected learning. So we will be excited to hear from both of them. All right, so let's get you those links so that you can get in there. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and share with you the teacher leader and the Zoom link for Deanna. Unless you already have that, Deanna, you can jump in. Oh, you got it. Excellent. Thanks, Deanna. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put her Canvas webpage right here. That's for Deanna's event today. So if you choose to stay with Traci, you can get onto Canva, into Deanna's Canva as well from that. And as far as the Digital Teacher Leader account, I've lost it now. There we go. That in there as well. Okay. All right. So I will stop sharing so that Traci can take over. At this time, if you'd like to jump over to Deanna's, please use the link that's in the chat or stay here for Traci.
Hey, Larissa, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh, Jared, will you allow that for her?
Of course.
Thank you.
Just kidding, we're not going to see Traci.
A little bit. Yeah, I'll leave. That's fine.
Traci, we're all excited to stay and watch your presentation without you being able to share your slides.
Okay, I'll wing it. It's fine. I'm really comfortable with that. Oh, there we go.
You got it now?
Yeah, thanks.
Great.
Maybe.
There's no pressure on you, Traci, but you do have all
There's none. I don't.
You have all the heavy hitters in our instructional coaching group here.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's working. Hold on.
And by heavy hitters, you mean the coolest people.
That's exactly what I mean, Beth. Like
Okay.
the top dogs, man.
For those of you who are just joined us in the chat, Deanna Taylor has got her Zoom link, and that will be for her Connected Learner and her Canva web presentation is over there. And we're just listening to Traci, and she's going to take over the screen sharing any moment now.
Oh, I'm trying, I promise. I just have a quick question. Sorry, everyone. It says security and privacy. I have to allow something. And I've shared my screen before, and this has never happened. So I'm not sure what it wants me to allow here.
It may be a privacy setting that you have to turn on to allow Zoom access. That's weird though, because you're right. You probably have done this before, right?
Yeah, like last week.
I had to do it just before, so at 3:15, that's what I got on and did too. So I don't, maybe it's something new.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll see if it works. Apologies, everybody.
Everybody's good. While Traci's getting her her slides together, we had an interesting icebreaker question in a meeting we were in today. So you can answer this question in the chat. What is your favorite type of scare for Halloween? Is it a haunted house, a scary movie, a mystery novel, or a true crime podcast? What is your favorite type of scare that you would enjoy either watching or listening to?
Where? Look at storage.
Open system preferences.
So people are into the true crime podcasts, mystery novels.
Go ahead and use your
Beth doesn't like to be scared.
No, Zoom.
Ooh, a mini series. Are you talking like
Reopen,
the
unfortunately. Your meeting. Go back in.
Lori
Go back in.
Vallow miniseries,
Join your meeting.
or the Dahmer miniseries? These are very scary things.
Attending conferences.
Perfect.
Or even
Thanks. Thank you. You're welcome. No problem.
Oh, you mean like The Haunting of Hill House? Now that's scary.
Sorry, I should have muted that. It looked like her security preferences needed to be approved. So we got it taken care of. She's going to get on now.
It's okay. We're finding out that everybody wants to listen to true crime podcasts. Does
Ooh,
anyone
those
have
are my kind of people.
Does anyone have a good podcast to share with us, like that we should all listen to? Crime Junkie. Ooh.
The best one.
All right, I'm good to go. Thanks, Jared.
Hey, I can fill time as much as you want.
You know, I loved it. Thanks so much.
I'm glad that's on the recording because that's going to be really fun for people to
Yeah.
watch later. But
It's gonna be so fun. All right, well, welcome everyone. We'll get this going.
and Traci, maybe you should introduce yourself. Maybe not everybody knows you.
Well, my name is Traci Rindlisbach, and I recently became the STEM specialist digital in the digital teaching and learning department, and I'm also over computer science, which is pretty exciting. So I'm in charge of all the tech tools, all the STEM tech tools, and computer science stuff in the district, which has been pretty neat, and I'm really enjoying it. Now that we're all connected, thanks for reminding me, Jared, we're going to talk about connected learning. And I gotta pull this back up. Sorry, everybody. We're going to talk about connected learning. So when I think of being connected, I really do think of Kevin Bacon and 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. And it seems kind of silly to think about Kevin Bacon because he's an actor, but really there is a theory that everyone is connected within 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. So 6 degrees of separation is the idea that people are all 6 or fewer social connections away from each other, which is insane. And I think about it like this. I saw Jared Covilli before I ever met him. I was in my class over the summer and he was the guest speaker. And then, so I knew him via my professor, and then I met him in real life and I thought, oh, what a small world. And it really is such a small world if you start thinking about it, like how you're connected to everybody else. And then I was thinking, am I connected to Kevin Bacon? And the answer was yes. So I figured this out. My sister worked for Ziggy Marley, and then I met Ziggy Marley, and Ziggy Marley knows Kevin Bacon. And while it was like this to Ziggy Marley, hi, like I still met him. So I was like, oh, I am connected to Kevin Bacon. Can anybody think how they're connected to anyone in the digital teaching and learning, or even to Kevin Bacon if they'd like to share?
Jared went to high school with my brother-in-law.
Well, that's like a super close connection. That's awesome.
I feel very connected to all of you, just so you know.
I grew up across the street from Larissa Nagley's college roommate.
Wow.
Oh, I love those connections. I do. I think it's so interesting how we're all connected, and it does feel like a big world, but when you really start looking at it and getting into it, it kind of like narrows pretty quickly. All right, we'll go back to Kevin. So this article actually right here, there was actually an article about 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It was an educational edition, which I thought was great. So if you have time, this will be linked and you can read this beautiful article, but this is like the gist of what the article said. We all have social brains. And when we lack socialness, our brains actually experience like actual pain. It's the same as like hitting your thumb with a nail as being like not socialized. Socialness though is what you make it. Like if you're introverted or extroverted or both. I think I'm an introverted extrovert. I'm extroverted when I need to be, but I do like sitting by myself alone sometimes, like listening to no noise, which I think a lot of people are. Does anybody want to share what they think they are? Introvert, extrovert, both?
I think teachers by definition are extroverts.
I would think I've met a lot of introverted teachers that are extroverts because they have to be for their jobs, but they're really introverted. I would agree with you. I would say it's a situational, for me, it's a situational thing. Like, all right. So either way, if you're an introvert or an extrovert, we're talking about being connected learners. So connected learners pursue professional learning that deepens their expertise. And we can do this in a lot of ways. So one of the ways is to make time to network, get those business cards. Just kidding. I feel like that's what it sounds like when I say it's time to network, is like, we're going to go out and we're going to shake a whole bunch of hands and we're going to collect all those business cards and put them in our Rolodex because that's a relevant reference. But really networking to me is just like getting out and meeting people. So like one of the ways, and when I say getting out, it could be really just like signing up for a class. UN's been a great way for me to like meet like teachers from across the state and like just in our classes that we've been doing. And so I really do, I'm all in on UN. I'm taking this class right now called Computer Science in Your Classroom. And I took it because I wanted to play with these robots, which are super cool. But really, there are so many things on UN that if you were like, oh, I'm interested in Nearpod or Google level certified educator 1, filmmaking in the classroom, there's so many things that could like help you help your coachees or whoever, or even just yourself, and really get you connected with other people. Get a STEM endorsement. I highly recommend this, not just because I'm the STEM specialist, but because when I was getting my STEM endorsement, I met so many people like in Canyons District Somebody traveled from, I don't remember, Juab district. And so we met like all those people and we made all these connections. And that wasn't why I was there, but that was a nice side benefit of getting that endorsement. The neat thing about the STEM endorsement is this IEP, the Endorsement Incentive Program. And Jared, could you just talk a tiny bit about that, if you would?
Yeah, I'm happy to. One question, Tracy, are you sharing slides right now or no?
Yes.
We're not seeing them, just so
Oh,
you know.
you're not seeing them? Oh, so I've just been talking to you guys.
It's been
Okay.
very conversational though. It's been very entertaining.
Good. You would have loved my slides, everybody. Let's see if I can get this to work.
While you're getting that to work, I'll talk about, here they come.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, if you don't know much about the EIP program, specifically for people who are looking for an endorsement in either science, technology, or math, you can apply and the state will actually reimburse you for your endorsement classes that you take. So anything that's a college level class that you take, you can actually get the tuition reimbursed from USBE. On the computer science page, or I think we have a link off of teaching and learning as well, you'll see a little information about what you need to do. There's an application that you fill out after each course that you take, and you can get your tuition reimbursed.
Oh, thanks. I just looked at the chat because I'm sharing my screen now and I decided to look at the chat. Andrea, how did you meet Ziggy Marley?
He was performing in Santa Monica and I went with my brother and his kids. He did this album that was like a kid album many, many years ago. And then did like this meet and greet afterwards. So we had to wait a really long time, but we were able to like chat with him and he's really nice.
Oh, that's cool. I really was just like a wave, like, hi, means like, hi. So you and I are like the same connected to Kevin Bacon.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's way exciting. Like, isn't that weird to think about?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Okay. So there's also the JSD Edtech endorsement, and it's going to sound like I'm just pushing a lot of endorsements, which I kind of am, and I'll tell you why. I've met so many people like just from continuing education and because I love learning. So once I stop something, I'm like, what could I do now? So the Edtech endorsement, several people in my department, Kira Bettis, I think Colby also took this Edtech endorsement. And Kira was actually in my class, but we didn't know that because we started taking it during the pandemic. But like we gained like amazing like technology skills on top of like being together in a little cohort. And it was like so wonderful for us. Has anybody gone through endorsements and like met people and then met them later on and been like, oh my gosh, we were together during this? Okay.
So I can share a story about that, just a tip.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I have connected with two different people that I did my master's program with upon coming back into Jordan. But like, if I don't know how many of you know Melinda Mansouri, who works out at the JETC, she and I were in the same master's program together. And this is probably, 18, 19 years ago, but so fun to reconnect with people that you've done endorsements or degrees with.
I agree. So participating in professional learning networks, and I take this kind of, I'm a little bit passive sometimes. I think Facebook and TikTok are a great way to kind of lurk, and even Pinterest, and like participate in professional learning. And you don't have to be like active and talking, because I don't like to do that on these platforms. But I've gotten so many great things from a no lie TikTok. I learned so many like teacher hacks and things that I'm like, I want to do that in my classroom. I want to implement that. And then I have this Pinterest board, which is, I love Pinterest so much, as you can tell. But I made this shared STEM board for the STEM educators that I get to conduct PLCs with. And I invited all of them to it, and several of them joined. Like, it's not a have to, but it's just like, here's some resources if you'd like them. And I just keep adding and adding. And I feel like that is a way to like professionally learn, but more passively than being like active inside of it, which sometimes that's what we need, is just not like in your face learning, just like, here's this stuff if you need it. Join an ed chat. I have done this one time and I thought it was very beneficial. But there are a plethora of ed chats. And it seems like just anything that you wanted tailored exactly to you. Like I love this job role chats, topical chats, regional chats. There's a Utah ed chat that happens Wednesdays at 8 p.m. That's the one I did not participate on, but I listened to and I enjoyed it. So I don't think you have to be like an active participant, and like maybe someday you'll want to be, but some like if that's where you're comfortable right now, I think that's great. This one is my jam. Attend a conference or an ed camp. There are some upcoming events happening. Teaching Science in the Multiverse is actually happening October 7th in Provo, Utah. Is anybody attending that? I know that our science department is going to go attend, and I think that's so exciting. UN, going back to UN, everybody. They just have this page where they update and tell you like upcoming professional development events, which I think is cool because sometimes you don't know where to look. And this is like a nice way to like think of, oh, I could go to this and maybe bounce off of that and like find something else to go to. This Creative Constructor Lab is like a online event, and it is coming up pretty quick. And then the last one, For the Love of Reading, is happening November 3rd and 4th in Midway at the Zermatt Resort, which I've heard is way fancy. So that's one that might be great to go to just because it's fancy. Is anybody like attending any conferences or ed camps, or have attended them and want to share like how powerful you think it is going to those? Larissa?
Yes, I will. So I'm glad you called on me.
Yes.
So I went to ISTE over the summer, and what I really liked is that you kind of get into this job and you hear a lot of negativity or people are burned out, but you go to these conferences and that's when people rejuvenate you, and they start talking about how amazing their job is and their life is, and they've got these great ideas, and you come back like on fire, wanting to do better and be better.
I agree with that. Like, I think just going and being with people who have the same mindset is so powerful. And it just makes you, like you said, it makes you just want to come back and like implement all this change and like be better. And I do think that's a great reason to go, is just you want to be better.
Yeah, I'm hoping some of the people in our audience would share their experience going to USET last year.
USET's one of my favorite local conferences of all time, and we're going to try to present a lot of different sessions for Kings Peak there.
I love it.
This year, we're going to apply for a bunch of sessions.
Cool.
That's awesome. What are you applying for? Just like one of them, like your most exciting one that you're excited about.
We're going to talk about our online program and how we've designed the program. Basically, Ammon wants to beat Davis in their story from last year.
Oh.
But that's one of them. But it'll be cool because we've done some really, really good things, and we've seen some really great successes with our kids. We've had struggles too, but we're learning a lot, and we want to share that with the state because a lot of school districts are trying things that are similar to what we're doing.
That's awesome. Thanks. Another way to just like get connected is ask a connected educator for help. And I know all these connected educators would love to help you. And they're over all these other like very specialized things. Larissa, will you talk about what you're over?
Yes, I am currently investigating in over Mastery Connect. So for me, I am kind of the resident expert on this tool, and I'm working to try to figure it out myself.
That's awesome. Thanks. Deanna is over near Pod
Mhm.
and Colby. I gotta go this way. I'm sorry. Colby's over Canva. Ross is over Canvas. Kira's over, what is she in charge of?
Adobe.
Adobe, that's right. And then Bonnie's in charge of Google.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So if you have any questions about any of those, there's all these great people to reach out to. I get to be in charge of all the STEM tools, which I think are really exciting. And I'm going to talk to you guys about those. So ISTE standard 4.2.c is to establish shared goals with educators, reflect on successes, and continually improve coaching and teaching practices. So like PLCs are the perfect way to do this, like reflect and continually improve. And I know we all go to PLCs and sometimes they're not going the way we want them to, but I feel like if we go in there with like a set purpose and maybe revise our norms sometimes, because that has to happen, that it makes them more powerful. Does anybody want to talk about the power of PLC? All right, I will, because I do think PLCs are great. I have participated in so many PLCs where I've left and thought we just did something amazing. And it's like all for the good of our kids. We've done ones where we've like gone like and done deep dives. And I know that that sounds scary because it makes you really vulnerable, but I think it's such a great way to like get into the meat of it. And if you go into it with like an open mind, not as like, oh, someone's going to attack me for my scores, it just makes like everything better. And that is a great way to connect, by like being vulnerable and opening up and like sharing your knowledge with other people and gaining their knowledge. All right. This is continually improving your coaching and teaching practice. You could head on over to the STEM lending library and check out some tools from me. There I am right there. So we have some great tools in the STEM lending library, and some are just as simple as mag formers. I'm going to click this right here. So mag formers are magnetic building blocks. And I could think of 1,000 things that I could do with mag formers. These are more for littles, but I know like third and up would also love them, like with some purpose. So I think these would be great to like help with literacy. Like I could ask I used to teach first grade and I used to teach fourth and kinder, but I could ask my first graders to like, I could say, oh, you need to count out 20 and then build me, I'm going to switch to math, everybody, I'm sorry. And then build me a structure out of your 20. And like at the beginning of the year, like math wise, that might be a little tricky. So I might pair up someone who was a higher functioning friend and like someone who was struggling a little bit, and they could count out their 20 and then build a structure. Or I could say build the tallest structure, build the widest structure, things like that. So we have some really, I'm not going to say basic, but some more kind of unplugged things going on. And then we have, I'm going to find a really great one. Let's see. I'll just go to, here we go, Spheros. So Spheros are spherical robots that the kids can either drive or code. And these are great. I always have like a math emphasis. Well, I am STEM, but like these are great for like asking kids to program shapes. Could you program, and they would write the code and be like, I'm going to program a triangle. I'm going to program a square. I'm going to program a parallelogram, which I think would be so great. I was just checking. Okay. And so tons of things going on in there. And if you want to like host a STEM night, I would be happy to support you in your STEM night. And I like have tons of fun ideas, especially centered around themes like holiday themes, which I enjoy. Has anyone hosted a STEM night at their school?
Oh yeah, we did at Mountain Point. And it
you did?
Yes. Melanie, do you remember when we did that? It's been a couple of years.
Yes,
Or
I do.
Go, you guys.
COVID.
It was really fun.
Really well received. We did the Spheros, we did the Ozobots. What were a couple of the other things we did?
We had a guy there with the digital printer,
Oh,
Like the
yes,
3D
yes, the 3D
printer?
printer. Yes.
and then we had a family who had done a STEM project. And I don't remember what it did, but it was kids actually demonstrating this project that they did that was like a coding kind of thing. There were a lot of
Yes.
activity. Everyone really had a good time.
Oh man, that's so cool. I love it.
It went well.
That's awesome. Microbits are these teeny tiny computers that you program. And I'm so in love with them. Like I try and do everything with microbits. But I think they're so great for like 3rd through 6th. Because it really teaches them like those computational thinking skills. And like even us, so like if we're teaching, like if we have to teach it to kids, like we have to have that growth mindset that we can do it. And so there's tons of things that you could like microbit teach for teachers, and you could get in there and like start learning about microbits. Spiros, you could learn how to drive and code them. And I would be happy to help everyone learn how to drive and code them or any of the things in the lending library. Creative Flicks are one of my favorite ones because they're a more unplugged, but also like if I was reading Pig the Pug, has everyone read this story? I don't know where we're at. Are you guys elementary or are you secondary?
There's a good mix here.
It's a mix. Okay, so Pig the Pug is this really naughty dog, and he just is always doing horrible things. So he builds this big pile of garbage and then he falls off of it. So I would read this book to my kids and then I'd tell them to count out however many flakes, because I think counting is important for 1st grade. And then I'd say, build Pig's pile of garbage that he falls off. It's really a pile of all the stuff he finds in the house, but I would just call it garbage. And then they build it, and then we'd put our little tiny Pig the Pug on top of there, because I am that extra that I do own that. And then we just have some fun building with our creative flakes and adding that engineering piece into our literacy. Well, thanks everybody for like joining me and listening to me talk and seeing most of my slides. Does anybody have any questions I could answer before I go? Oh, wait. Where's Mesa, Mary?
That's a club.
Yeah,
Oh.
each school has a Mesa club, and it's kind of a science club that's STEM. And so we have a decent crew this year that's really awesome. They've done their CH burning already, and in November they have everything planned every month already. And they wanted to do robotics for November, but I need to get back in there and see if we can get some of the spheros or something like that.
I actually have, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. It's okay.
I have some, have you seen the McQueen robots?
No.
So this is going back to how much I like microbits. You code a microbit and then you put it into the McQueen and it makes it drive or like change the lights or function that way. They're similar to Spiros in the coding aspect, but just a little bit different. So if your kids have already seen Spiros, oh yeah, look, Larissa grabbed one. They look like Johnny Five from Short Circuit, if everybody knows that reference, because that's what I think they should be called. But like, you can totally check whatever out. And if you want to email me, please email me and I would totally be happy to help support your
Yeah,
Saturday.
I have come over because these guys know nothing about coding. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please email me. I would love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, it was so nice to meet and connect with everybody. Now we're connected by 0 degrees.
All right,
So,
Tracy, thank you
appreciate it.
so
Thanks,
much.
everybody.
Thank you for participating in today's
Tracy.
webinar, and we look forward to seeing you November 1st at 3:30.